the meanest, the toughest,
The what?
I'm trying to be really tough because this is the toughest triathlon video.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
As triathletes, we like to push the limits and break the barriers, and we enjoy putting ourselves through pain and often strive to outdo each other.
So with that, we like the idea of being able to say we've done the toughest triathlon. So it's time to bring out the big guns. This is our pick of the toughest triathlons. The Patagonman is brought to us by the same folk that do the Norseman, the Swissman, the Celtman, and various others. So you can safely assume it's going to be seriously tough.
Well, it's a new event for this year, part of the XTRI series, and it's in the Asen region of Patagonia. And it actually started from three Chilean triathletes who wanted to combine their love and passion of triathlon and exploring. And they came up with this event.
As with many of the XTRI events, the Patagonman is a point-to-point race. So it starts before sunrise with athletes jumping off a ferry into the Asen fjord to complete a 3.8-kilometre icy cold swim. And then onto the bike, it's a 180-kilometre bike course through a hilly and scenic route, finishing at Cerro Castillo, and then onto the run. They complete the race with a 42.2-kilometre off-road run following the Ibanez River through the forest. The Surf City Escape Triathlon. It's a new addition to the Escape Triathlon series and a qualifier for the famous Escape from Alcatraz, which we featured in our bucket list video. Now, it may be shorter than a lot of the events we're featuring in this list, with it only being a standard Olympic distance, but it's tough in its own different way.
Yeah, the race starts in the Pacific Ocean, where the swimmers have to negotiate the large waves as they head out and then back in again through the famous beach break of Huntington Beach, the same venue that they hold the US Open surfing. It gets a little bit easier on the bike ride as they head out along the Pacific Highway, but to finish, it's the run through the deep, sandy terrain of Huntington Beach.
The Hell Velan Triathlon. When the cycle includes a hill known as the Struggle, you know you're in for a tough day. It's not the most well-known race on our list, but when it attracts the likes of the Brownie brothers, it's got to be tough. In 2007, Alistair and Johnny took on the challenging and hilly course situated in the Lake District. And no surprises, Alistair took the win in a time of 3 hours and 28 minutes.
Well, it consists of a 1-mile swim, a 38-mile bike ride, and then a 9-mile run that includes the Hell Velan climb, which is the third highest peak in England. Now, to give you an idea of just how tough it is, on the run you actually have to carry your own bag, which needs to have in it a map, a whistle, a foil blanket, and also a bivvy type bag that you can fit your body in if need be, as well as your own nutrition. Kona Hawaii, arguably the most famous of all the races on this list, as it is the Ironman World Championships. Well, that makes it a tough race in itself with a really top field, but also the big island of Hawaii throws its own unique challenges.
Yeah, first off, it's a non-wetsuit swim in the Pacific Ocean with water temperatures around 27 degrees Celsius. Now that doesn't sound extreme, but when you think of swimming flat out for about an hour, your core temperatures start to rise, and that's already before you're out on the bike.
Well, the bike in Kona is mentally tough as it's an out and back course and there's no shelter from the intense heat that comes off the tarmac and from the sun. And then there's the wind, which just seems to come from every direction, just never behind you. And I know from personal experience. And the wind is rarely constant, so you need to be prepared for any gusts whilst you're trying to stay in your aero position.
Back onto the run, there is a little more support from the crowds for the first half, but then the athletes are sent out along the Queen K and into the dreaded energy lab, where the lava fields have had all day to heat up, sucking all the energy from the competitors. This section is also pretty empty from the crowds, just the feed stations and other athletes for company. There is a reason this has become the home of the Ironman World Championships for the last 40 years.
The Bearman, located in the south of France, it's a long-distance event and it actually starts with a fairly pleasant swim, 3 laps of the lake in Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Court, which could lull you into believing it's not so nasty after all.
But that all changes when you're onto the bike. The 180-kilometre bike course takes in a total of 4,700 metres of climbing. And if that's not enough, there's no feed stations, nothing throughout the whole 180k bike other than a bit of water. And to give you a bit of idea of how hard this is, you have to carry bike lights and you have to have a bag of warm clothes in T2, which you pass through during the bike leg. And the bike cutoff is at 9 p.m.
And if you make it onto the run, you've still got almost 1,500 metres of climbing through the picturesque Pyrenees, and then it finishes off with a really long descent that is sure to finish off your quads. The AxTri Extreme Triathlon. Now, the Norwegians know how to do things well, and they have certainly not disappointed on this one.
No, it's a middle distance triathlon. It takes place in the Åland Fjord, where temperatures get as cold as 8 degrees Celsius. And then the bikes are 98 kilometres over the Ålandfällen mountain road, and it takes in a total elevation of over 3,100 metres. And then onto the 21.1 kilometre run up the Ålandalen Pass, and again it takes in another 1,100 metres of elevation. And to top it off, athletes get seeded on their finishing time and earn different colour t-shirts as well.
Well, it is a truly stunning course, and it goes through the Åland Fjord, which is part of the UNESCO World Heritage. But sadly, for the first time, it's actually going to be held this year due to Norwegian regulations, but they hope, as it is such a popular event, that it will be back in 2019. The triple brutal. As if an Ironman distance wasn't enough, how about doing a triple Ironman? Yes, this is probably for a unique audience, but there's no denying this is one of the toughest events.
Yep, it takes place in the Snowdonia National Park in Wales, a popular area for extreme endurance events. The race starts in the town of Llanberis at the foot of the Snowdon Mountain, the highest mountain in Wales. The swim starts in Lake Pardon, and then the bike goes over the challenging Snowdonia terrain, and then no surprises, the run goes to the summit of the Snowdon Mountain and back down again.
And for those crazy enough to take on the triple challenge, it consists of a 7.2 mile swim, 336 miles on the bike, and then finished off with 78 miles of running. And just to put it into perspective, the winner last year completed it in a time of 51 hours.
A triple Ironman sounds hard enough, let alone set in Snowdonia. So that's our pick of the toughest triathlons out there. Heather, any you fancy?
Well, I mean, I loved Kona. I think it's time for you to choose one.
So make sure you subscribe to GTN so you don't miss any more videos from us. You can do that by clicking on the globe.
And if you like the look of this GTN kit, then click on the link for the shop. And if you want to see some more interesting facts about Kona, watch this video here.
If you'd like to see our bucket list video, you can see that by clicking here.